Hey Scrappers, Tom here from the iScrap app, and we were asked a question online and I wanted to help come up with the answer, and it was, are there items that scrapyards don't like to see inside of their steel? And we'll try to attack that from a couple of different ways. But if you are looking to learn more information about this, below we have a link that you can click on, go to our blog, and you can learn a little more about what items or what things that scrapyards don't like to see inside of their steel pile. So I'll tell you from my perspective, there's things that I don't like when it comes to an environmental standpoint that I really don't like seeing come into the steel pile or at the scrapyard, and I'll go over a few of those items. Anything that has oil or gasoline in it. We've learned that most consumers do not properly drain liquids from their equipment. Lawnmowers, snow blowers, weed whackers, ride-on lawnmowers, etc. We've learned that most people don't know how to properly do this, or they just don't try and they don't do it at all. So when that happens, you have these items that can come in, could create a mess inside of the yard. So at our yard, we make sure to physically look inside every single one, make sure that there is drain holes there ahead of time. We're not looking for people to give us things that could be environmentally hazardous. Other items that we don't like, steel that's heavily mixed with debris. Think about a rubber gasket, right? You have that rubber gasket, but inside there's one, maybe two layers of steel rope, kind of like a tire would have, right? A tire has all the treads, inside there's little pieces of steel, but I don't want to see things like that mixed in with a steel pile because it could clog up the machines. I'm not looking to sell garbage, I'm looking to sell steel, and I can't really separate those items easily, so that's another thing that I don't really like to see in there mixed together as well. Now, we could go and look at things that I don't like to see inside of the steel pile that could get upgraded. I can't tell you how many items like aluminum grills or stainless steel grills I see that get thrown into the scrap pile. Now, many of you are probably looking at this and saying, why would I ever throw a non-magnetic stainless grill into the scrap pile, or why would I sell a cast aluminum grill into the scrap mix? Well, most of the time the grills themselves are attached to other pieces. They could be wood sides, they could be steel bases. So now you have mixed metals with that aluminum or with that stainless. I don't ever like seeing those go in there because sometimes if prices are too low, we're not going to sort and separate them. But what we do try is to show people how to make more money with the scrap. And if you click any of our blogs, if you watch any of the videos that we've ever made, our goal is to show you how to make more money with your scrap and how to create a cleaner product for you to sell to your scrapyard so you don't get deductions, so you don't get identified products. So other items that go into the steel pile, you could have electric motors attached to different items. That's an often thing too. Think about an air compressor. An air compressor could be big, it could be tall, and on the top, what is there? There's an electric motor. Many people don't separate those motors from the top of the compressor, but they just leave it attached because it's not worth their time. And I always hate seeing that thrown into the pile because it's probably not going to be an item that we can quickly take off, especially if it's mixed on top of or in with other items. And that's something to keep in mind too. When you go to a scrapyard and you go to dump your steel out, very often you're going to see non-ferrous items like wires or motors mixed in with their steel pile, and you might be tempted to go in and pull it out. We always recommend against that. A, it's not your stuff to touch. B, it becomes a safety hazard. But what you can do is learn what other people throw in, and then you can start to look for those items and realize how to make more money on them. So this whole question of what scrapyards don't like to see in the steel pile is heavily loaded, but anything that could become flammable, any batteries that could be in starters, any gasoline, any oil, any hazardous materials. Those are things that we like to avoid because we don't want to have problems later on. And we've seen so many articles about scrapyards having fires started when no one's even there because items like this get mixed in with the pile and could cause safety hazards. So again, that's a negative that we look to avoid. Again, click below, read the blog, check out our other videos. Until next time, scrappers, I'll scrap you later.